Sit comfortably. Take a few deep breaths. As we breathe in, be mindful and present with the breath. Be aware of how it feels to breathe in. As we breathe out, be mindful and present with the breath. Be aware of how it feels to breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Observe the breath for 3 to 5 times. Paying close attention to it. Completely immersing ourselves into the breath. Being aware of the features of the breath. The start of the in-breath. The in-breath itself. And the ending of the in-breath. The pause between the breath and then the start of the out-breath. The out-breath itself and the end of the out-breath. And finally the pause between the breath again before we start a new breath. In this way we become more and more intent on the breath. If there are thoughts that arise, be aware of the thoughts. Be aware of the presence of these thoughts, but do not engage them. Label these thoughts thinking, being aware in this way. Then come back to the breath. And over time, the breath would weaken and subside. As we meditate, it's good to consider whatever has happened in the past 1 week, the past 1 month, whether it's good or bad, whether it brought happiness or sadness, it too has come to an end, it has subsided. The good having passed, we should reflect and consider that we are still okay. In fact, beyond our own insistence for it to last, we are pretty okay. And the bad that has happened, when it was happening, we may feel miserable and we may feel very sad. But that too has passed, and we are okay. Unless we hold on to that pain and sadness. But the good and the bad, and the happy and the sad, all these arise due to conditions. When there are conditions, they occur. But because they are due to conditions, oftentimes it is not due to one or two person, not just us or another person, but a combination of factors. And as a result, not quite within our control, nor are we absorbed of involvement. This is the nature of how all things are dependent arising, conditionally arising, and empty of any intrinsic, inherent existence. Good morning, brothers and sisters. How are y'all today? Good? Okay, so we have come to the last session. The last session of this series of the Heart Sutra. We have gone through a lot. And last time we stopped at Xing Wu Guai, Wu Guai, Xing Wu Guai. We will stop at how, having gone through all that, if a person have seen through how indeed all things being conditionally arising, dependently arising, and the conditions themselves are also empty of inherentness, innateness, inbornness, that there's nothing intrinsic, then indeed there's nothing that's substantially permanent, there's nothing that is everlasting, that is unchanging. The things that we are so accustomed to to seeing, to experiencing are not as real, if you will. Yeah. So if a person can see all that, then quite naturally wouldn't be having expectation that it should stay a certain way. Yeah. That it should last. Wouldn't expect that it would go our way. Yeah, so that is the first part, the 不生不灭. Yeah. And it covers the part from 四故空中无色无受想行识. Yeah, that within emptiness itself, you cannot find any intrinsically existing form, feelings, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. 无眼耳鼻舌身意无色声香味触法. That you cannot find any everlasting, permanent eye, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and mental object. Yeah. And it's not the way it appears. Yeah. But precisely, you cannot find any inherent such item or phenomena. Yeah. So you can have dependent arising eye, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Yeah. It's precisely because it's empty, that's why there is the dependent arising matter. And then we want all that included. And then 无眼界乃至无意识界, the 18 elements. Yeah. So the senses, the sense object, and the sense consciousness, all that included. Then we went on to 无明亦无明尽乃至无老死亦无老死尽. The core of the Buddha's realization, how our cycle of birth and death come about. Yeah, that it didn't just exist. It didn't just pop into existence, but it exists due to conditions. And because it exists due to conditions, you find that there's no first condition. Yeah, because each condition in turn depends on other condition. So this seemingly ever changing and ever lasting, if you will. Quite ironic if you think about it. Yeah. Beginningless time. This is the term you find in the sutra oftentimes. Since beginningless time, the flow of conditions has been sustaining our cycle of birth and death of samsara. Yeah. But it's precisely because it is in this way that it can collapse, that it can cease to exist as well. Because once there's no condition, then there's no samsara. Yeah. And so together that forms the purity of this world and impurity of this world. Yeah. Or as the text goes, 不垢不净, so that you'll be the impurity and the purity of this world. 不垢不净, and that would include 无苦集灭道. That even the Four Noble Truth is not something that is intrinsically like this or like that. That it is due to conditions. That there is suffering. Yeah, is directly inside the Four Noble Truth. Yeah. The Noble Truth of suffering and then the Noble Truth of cause of suffering. Yeah. So cause conditions the arising of suffering. Yeah, that has been explained. And then the next two, which is the end of suffering and the path leading to the end of suffering. The path leading to the end of suffering is the direct, immediate conditions for the arising of Nibbana. But when we say arising of Nibbana, it is none other than the ceasing of suffering. Yeah. So last week, we went through, last how many weeks we went through all of that. And it culminated in 无苦集灭道，无智亦无得. And that's where I share with you all is there cold? I don't know how much of a shocker that was for you all. Did you all go back and tear apart your Daikin aircon? Did you all go and check whether Shifu was just coming out with some amazing theory? Yeah? Or is it the truth? How many of you check on how the aircon work? Or the fridge? Never check. Shifu say ma. Should be true. No, of course, in this case it's true. Yeah. And also, of course, in all the cases of the classes I've shared with you all, I'm sharing with you what is the truth. But is it possible that Shifu share with you all unknowingly something that is not true? It is possible. Yeah. I may, within my limited wisdom, see it as true. Yeah. And I'm not able to see beyond that. But maybe when you go and examine the evidence, or you examine the sources that I cite, then you find that, no, Shifu, why do you look at it that way? This is a very crucial part of the Buddhist practice, the Buddhist path to enlightenment. The Buddhist path to enlightenment does not involve you simply accepting what is being taught. Yeah? And that's why the Buddha highlighted that the way to give rise to wisdom, yeah, it is not simply accepting what is being taught. Yeah, not simply that. But through wen shi xiu, through hearing, then you get knowledge. And you reflect over that, you get understanding. Yeah? And through this knowledge and understanding, then you go and practice, yeah? And verify what was heard. Verify your knowledge and verify your understanding. When you do that, you have that wisdom. Yeah? So, you don't have to go and check the fridge, but at least you must check up on emptiness. Yeah? Which is what the exercises have been. I think most of you have submitted. Some of you are still pondering on the mystery of life. But whether or not you submit, it is most important if you do it in your daily life. Because if you do that, then you benefit. Yeah? If you do the exercise, you benefit. But if you just do the exercise and submit, and then that's it. Yeah? I ask for 3 exercises, you submit 3 exercises. And after that, you put the teachings into the text, and then you keep it in the shelf. Not bad. This year I attended 3 Dhamma workshops and 5 Dhamma talks. I attended 2 8 precepts. I attended 1 retreat. Wow, good. Okay, very good. Yeah, that's also good. I wouldn't say that that's not good. Yeah, but if you can do that, and then in your daily life, start to also look at things and do this reflection. Yeah, and not just for my class. Maybe you attend another class conducted by another venerable or lay person, and that venerable or lay person highlighted, elucidated, explained what the Buddha taught. Yeah, explain how this world is impermanent. Then you should use whatever is taught. Yeah, maybe the venerable give other examples. This is like, your kid or yourself playing some games, and then achievement unlocked. Dun! Yeah, so when you attend Heart Sutra class, now conditionally arising and emptiness achievement unlocked. So in future you can use this. But if you unlock it and then you just keep it in your, sometimes when you are playing an RPG, they have this stash of skill set. then you just keep it there. You never use. Yeah, you just use your sword every time. Use your sword. Yeah, what is the sword? Your sort of your anger. Or anything come, shout at people. Okay, yeah, maybe you can solve the problem. Yeah, but sometimes you must use your magic potion. Yeah. So don't. Although this is the last class, this is in a way a start also. A start. So last week we went up to that point and wrap up with that, and also covered how, because of that, all that realization, the Bodhisattva or anyone who has done to that point, their mind is free of preoccupation, free of that kind of clinging, yeah. And that freedom is not an oppressing, it's not a suppression, yeah. It is that the mind is liberated. There's no more arising of craving and attachment. Why? Because there's no more arising of wrong seeing and wrong thinking, yeah. Because once the person has seen truly how it is, then there's no such issue anymore. No such issue anymore. And when that is the case, 心无挂碍，无挂碍故, yeah, 无挂碍故. When a person is able to reach this stage, then what happens? When the mind is free of obstacles, free of preoccupation, free of attachment, in other words, free of ignorance and delusion, free of the defilements, then quite surely the person is free of fear, free of pain, free of suffering. 心无挂碍，无挂碍故，无有恐怖. Free of fear, free of terror. Is this world terrifying or fearful? Yes and no, huh? On a daily basis, seems to be quite okay. But once in a while, something may happen and cause us to be anxious. Be anxious. Here, the term itself, 无有恐怖. 恐怖 is a very big word. Yeah? Terror. Yeah? Or great, immense fear. But it covers all kinds of fear. Yeah? From the mildest anxiety to the immense great fear. Yeah. But what is fear? Fear is suffering. Yeah? Fear is suffering. With respect to things that we are happy, we are also fearful. We fear its loss. In one of the sutta, what is that sutta called? Piya Jatika. Piya Jatika. Born from those, born from our loved ones. Born from our loved ones. Think about it, huh? Think about it. From our loved ones, what do we get? What do we get from our loved ones? Love, huh? Should be love, huh? Otherwise, why you call them loved ones? Yeah? So from our loved ones, we typically think is love. Yeah? What else do you get? Care and concern. So from that, you get joy as well. You get happiness. If someone cares for you, how do you feel? Happy. Yeah? What else? What else do you get from them? Oh, a lot of things. Because they care for you, you also care for them. Yeah? Because they love you, you also love them. I love you, you love me, everybody very happy. Yeah? So, in this sutta, in the Buddha's time, it's more or less the same thing. They may not use the same exact words. Yeah? Much like in a Chinese culture, traditionally, parents don't tell the kids, 我爱你. Yeah. 疼你又偷笑了还爱你. Yeah. Yeah. Traditionally, parents don't even tell the kids, 妈咪很疼你哦. 知道吗？不用知道的，你去读书. The traditional family, and it's not like 200 years ago. Just our own generation, yeah. Our parents, they don't express love the way we express love today, yeah. But does it make it any lesser? No. Now, if we go back 2,000 over years ago, in the Buddha's time, there was this person who, like anybody else, loved their kid. We often hear about the case of Kisa Gotami. Yeah, Kisa Gotami, the mother who lost her child and then went bonkers. Yeah. And in modern times, we often highlight the impact, yeah, of a child on the mother, which is all true. But in this sutta, it is about a father. Yeah. The father lost a son, lost a child, and then was very upset. So he talked to many people, and then come upon the Buddha, asked the Buddha, told the Buddha. So the Buddha asked him, like, so how are you? And he said, oh, I'm feeling distraught, I feel so sad, I feel so upset, and so on. Then the Buddha said, indeed, born from our loved ones are all these things. In other words, when the Buddha heard him say that he's very sad, he's very distraught, and so on, the Buddha says, it is from your son that all these things come from. It is from your loved one that you get anxiety, grief, distraught, fear, worry, sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair. All these come from our loved one. Not what we just mentioned just now. Huh? Of course, we get all that as well, but it is a whole package. Yeah, like insurance. Yeah, it comes with the positive and negative. One whole package. You sign on the dotted line, you get everything. You pay for the rider, and then you get that. Yeah, and then there's a lot of terms and conditions included. Wow. They usually just tell you about the first page, how much you're going to get, and how low the premium is, blah, blah, blah. Then the terms and conditions. Wow. 20 pages. Yeah. And then they have a small link to a website for updated information. But that's not just the case for insurance, for many things in life. So in this sutta, when the Buddha said that, he was not very happy. Although he just lost his son and he was very upset over it, he was not convinced that what the Buddha said is true. And so he got quite upset, he walked off. Yeah? In many suttas, we hear about people hearing the teachings and then, wow, 欢喜信受作礼而去. Wow, rejoice in the teachings and then bowing, the person leave. Not in this case. Yeah. In quite a few suttas, this happened. Yeah. Quite amazing, huh? From this, it gives me confidence that the recording was, or the passing down of the teaching remains as authentic as possible. It doesn't just, imagine if you want to do editing, right? You should have edited out all this, yeah. That everybody somehow meet the Buddha. Wow. Yeah. But there are such cases where people hear the teachings and then just and end it there. That's it. The person didn't get enlightened. And in the case of this man, it was like that. Then he went to talk to other people, and then specifically mentioned about a group of gamblers. The gamblers heard the conversation, the whole exchange, and then the gambler agreed with the man. Yeah, this ascetic Gautama, this Tathagata, doesn't know what he's talking about. So from there, word spread. Word spread that, the so-called awakened one has uttered something that doesn't make sense. And this spread and reached the king. The king, one of the king whose wife is a very pious student of the Buddha, said to have been the first fruit already reached first fruit or something. or if not near to that. Very faithful. So the king was like, let's see what the queen have to say. Yeah, this queen is so in admiration of his teacher, everything, his teacher. Now let's see what he will have to say. So when he related the whole account to the queen was like, well, if the Buddha had said so, surely he must have some reasons. Oh, the king got even more upset. You and your Buddha, go away. So the queen, that's okay, I go away. And then the queen asked a Brahmin to go and talk to the Buddha and ask what happened. So the Buddha explained, saying, well, isn't it true that whomever you love, if something happened to that person, you would grieve. Yeah? If the person is far away, you will worry. And if a person really have something serious happen to the person, you'll be distraught. And hence you have worry, sorrow, lamentation, pain, a whole mess of all this, of suffering comes about because of this person that you love. So he went through a few examples. This was then related back to the queen, and the queen heard, that's why. Now that makes sense. Then she explained to the king in terms of the king's entourage. His own son, Prince Siha, General Siha, who is his son. And then all the various ministers that he cared about, who has been helping him, his people, and so on. And he said, I worry for them. Yeah, because I care for them, I worry for them. Because of all that, if something were to happen to them, I'll be, aggrieved, and so on. Yeah. So, if we were to realize up to this point, 心无怪无怪故无有恐怖, because there's no more preoccupation, there's no more fear, no more trepidation, no more suffering over such matters. Yeah. But there's still compassion. There's still compassion. This is the tricky part. To still care, to still have love and compassion without attachment. That's the tricky part. Trepidation, preoccupation arise due to our attachment. Our attachment arises due to thinking that it is fundamentally real, that it is permanent and has certain essence, and that we don't realize that it's conditional. Yeah? So once a person can reach this stage, then whatever happened in that sutta wouldn't happen. Yeah? We want to care for our loved ones. Who do want to care? Don't raise your hand. Raise your hand, take a picture, send to your loved one. Of course we want to care for our loved ones, but oftentimes we find that as we care for them, then we suffer in the same way as the father in the sutta. Yeah? Piya Jatakya. Yeah, we suffer in the same way. Yeah? Because when we care, we tend to care and then have attachment. Yeah? So this teaching helps, allows the enlightened person to still care but not have attachment. And because of the absence of attachment, then the person is free of fear. Yeah? Free of fear of losing, fear of harm, and so on and so forth. Yeah? And not just towards others, but towards oneself as well. In one of the sutta, a king came to see the Buddha, and the Buddha was at that point in time staying in the forest, and the king asked whether he slept well, and he said, I sleep well. I'm a person who sleep well. And then the king was surprised, like, I stay in the palace with guards and security and protection, I don't sleep well. You stay here in the open, in the forest, without anyone protecting you. How do you sleep well? Yeah. How do you sleep well? And that is the difference. Yeah. There's no more attachment to this very existence. So there's no more fear. And because there's no more fear, the Buddha is said to sleep well. But yet awake. But yet awake. Yeah. Sleep well, yet awake. 无挂碍故，无有恐怖，远离颠倒梦想. So, being able to see that all things are dependent, arising, and conditional, yeah, is empty of inherentness. It's not just to be free of fear, but when you see correctly, then you are completely free of deluded thinking, yeah, false delusion, wrong thinking. This wrong thinking leads to wrong expectations. Very quickly, let me run through the 4 kinds of distortion. What is today's date? So, this is permanent. This is happiness or pleasure. This is self. And this is purity or beauty. Now we replace the projector. Now there's color on this side also. You should see this in your notes, the 4 distortion. This is found in the Anguttara Nikaya, the 4 distorted perception. So, what is so distorted about them? Very quickly, when you see something permanent, there's no distortion. But if you look at something that is supposed to be impermanent, but yet you see it as permanent, in that way, that is distorted. So this is our perception. Okay? And then reality. Reality is that it is impermanent. Reality is that there's various forms of suffering, but for us we see that there's suffering and then the other one is actually pleasure. Yeah? But in fact, there are different forms of suffering. What we see as though there's self, there's inherentness, there's intrinsicness, but in fact it is not that way as well. Yeah, no self. And this no self would encompass emptiness. Okay? And we see purity and beauty in this world. Yeah, with this, jing, it means that we have this distinction, jing 跟不jing. Okay. Now here, for those that we think is jing, in fact, in this teaching it says is 不jing. But of course, within the teaching on Heart Sutra, we say there's no inherently 不jing, yeah, nor is there inherently jing. So this is foul. Non-beauty. So if reality is like this, but yet we see our perception is this. Yeah? So is this perception correct? No. And on this basis, the Buddha say, our perception is distorted. But not always. Sometimes when something is impermanent, you can see that it's impermanent. Yeah. So when the Buddha highlighted the 4 distorted perception, he's not suggesting that we are all deluded to the max in this way. Yeah. In some things we know that it's impermanent. Yeah. For example, when it rains, we don't start crying. Oh, the whole world is going to flood. Yeah, you know that it will rain, then it will stop. Yeah. When the sun sets, you don't like, oh no, no more sun. Yeah. But kids, you notice kids, because they sometimes have poor memory, and sometimes because they don't understand things. Yeah. When you bring them to a nice place and you want to get them to leave, wow, they will cry and they will like hold on to the grill. No, I don't want to go. Yeah. Because they don't understand. Kids have a very big idea of time. Yeah. And a very big idea of a lot of things anyway. But the challenge for many parents today is that while they don't really have much understanding of a lot of things, but today they have a lot of vocabulary. Yeah, they learn a lot of words very early. Wow, so people, wow. You know, they sound very smart. They sound very intelligent and seems to make sense. But actually, half the time they are just parroting what is being said. No, parroting is a very crucial process of learning as well. Yeah. And the formation of intelligence. So not to dismiss that process, not to simply assume that kids are all dumb. Yeah? But the challenge is to know when your kid really understand and when they are just spouting nonsense like we did. You know? The difference is that when we are much younger, our nonsense is not so elaborate because we don't have so much words. Yeah. So just like our kids, we sometimes spout nonsense, sometimes we see reality. Yeah? And as long as we are still having some distortion, then what happens? If you have a wrong perception, will you immediately suffer? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because sometimes reality takes a while to surface. Yeah? Reality sometimes takes a while to surface. Impermanence, for example. It takes time for some impermanence to become apparent. Yeah? Our old age, for example. Yeah? Our aging process. Takes forever. My goodness. How long does it take for us to grow old? Asians especially. Yeah? And I have encountered... she don't agree. Sư see... No. Let me explain myself. Faster than I think. Not when you are young. Yeah. When you have reached past 50, past 60, yeah, then it seems to be very fast. Yeah. But the truth is that for Asians, we look younger than our age. Or if we take ourselves as a standard, then Westerners look older than their age, depending on which way you want to look at it. Yeah. For Westerners, they look at us, they feel that we are younger than our age. When we look at them, we feel that they are older than their age. Yeah. Perception. All perception. But let me tell you the secret. You want to know the secret of our youth? Lesser to do with meditation, more to do with the fact that the climate. Yeah. In Southeast Asia, especially, it is humid. Yeah. Not so dry. So our skin don't dry up so fast. So, you know, yeah, in a way. The funny thing is that after I sort of understand a bit more about all these things, then I look at all the beauty products, wow, moisturizer, this and that. And I'm like, the reason why most of these products come from, you think about it, these products mostly come from temperate countries. Why? Because in temperate countries, the atmosphere itself is drying. Yes, we have aircon now, and stuff like that. But not as bad as when you are in a temperate country. It's so dry, you get cold rash. Yeah? It's basically the thing becoming so dry. Yeah? But that's another thing altogether. Well, see, when I talk about this, everybody pay utmost attention. So how to solve it? Yeah, it's conditional. Some more, yes. Yeah. So when we have this wrong perception, we don't immediately suffer, but eventually, when you have this come together, is there a match? Eventually, is there a match? If there's a match, because sometimes our perception is in line. When there's a match, then you're okay. Yeah? You expect it to become A, it becomes A. So you're happy. Isn't it? When there's a match, yes, then we are happy. When there's no match, what happened? Sad. Yeah? And a whole mess of all those different kind of negative emotions arise. Yeah? And this is basically where we are. Because of our wrong seeing, we have wrong perception. And from the wrong perception, do you go through life expecting things not to go your way? We don't expect it not to go our way. But as we grow older and older, we start to realize that, sometimes it will not go our way. Yeah? Our expectation. As long as we still have some distorted perception, we'll have distorted expectations. And this will lead to disappointment. From perception to expectations. Expectations. What am I writing about? Expectation. From this to this to this. It's like Corningware. From the freezer to the cooker to the table. Yeah. So, when we learn the Dharma, what happened? When we learn the Dharma, what does the Dharma tell us? The Buddha tells us that it is wu chang ku wu bu jing. The Buddha tells us this. So, we should do the same thing and verify. So when we first hear it, then we have the knowledge. Yeah? And we borrow this knowledge to form our view. our right view. And that also can shape our perception. Okay? And from there, then will you have expectations? Of course you will have expectations, isn't it? Yeah? Wow, not bad. Today we even have background music. It's okay. We focus. We learn to focus. When there's right view, then what happens? We look at things and form also expectation. Now the question is, does this expectation through the Dharma coincide with reality? If it coincides, then we are happy. If it doesn't coincide, then we'll be sad. Question is, will this happen? And unless you verify, you don't know whether this is the case or not. In Buddhism, we have to entertain the fact that, let me highlight, in Buddhism, we have to entertain the fact that there is a possibility that when you practice, it may bring you sadness. That's why in the Kalama Sutta, the Buddha highlighted the approach to take. When you hear a teaching, you should examine. When you learn and you practice in this way, does it lead to increase in greed, hatred and delusion? And as a result, spur you on to kill, steal, sexual misconduct and to lie. And as a result, lead to suffering. Does it do that or not? See? Does it do that or not? Or does it lead to reduction in greed, hatred and delusion? And as a result, lead to no killing, stealing, sexual misconduct and lying. And as a result, lead to lesser suffering, no suffering. Of course, the Buddha has highlighted that the teachings that he gave lead to the end of suffering. But he don't simply tell people who start off and say, no, it's like that. To the Kalamas, he highlighted, well, you should examine and make sure that it leads to end of suffering, then you adopt it. If not, then your aim is to end suffering, but you adopt a teaching that doesn't end suffering. Then what is the point? So in Buddhism, we have to go through this rigorous process. And this rigorous process is verified through your contemplation and cultivation. Contemplation meaning you hear the teachings, then you go back and think, oh, now if I were to encounter this, if I were to think in this way, what happened? To just go through the mental thought process first. And when you reflect in a certain way, how does that affect you? If the same situation arises, if you face it in a different way, do you end up suffering or less suffering? But ultimately, it is to do the cultivation and really transform our mindset. So, this is what the Buddha observed and then he shared with us. But through this process of Wen Si Xiu, then we verify, indeed, it matches. If you find that it doesn't match, then we'll have problem, isn't it? We will have problems. And that is why since the first lesson until today, I repeatedly urge you, go and find something that is permanent. Go and find something that is not empty. In Buddhism, we don't say, how can you say that there's anything at all that is not empty? The Buddha said all things are dependent, arising and empty. How can you say that? How can you suggest the opposite? Well, in Buddhism, you must go and verify. You must go and check and go and see. Because it's only through that process, then you can become enlightened. And up to this stage, the Bodhisattva, the practitioner, have practiced up to the point where it's utterly convinced. And so, 心无挂碍，无挂碍故，无有恐怖，远离颠倒梦想. It's far and far away, free of this kind of distorted thinking. Yeah? Free of this distortion. Why? Because of repeated practice. That's why bhavana, siu si, the si, multiple times, not just once. Some students ask me, Sifu, why after attending a class, I seem to understand, but I still get upset. Because the repeated practice is not there yet. Yeah. If you can understand through the class, as you reflect and you through the explanation, that's insufficient. That's sufficient for you to sort of have some clarity. But you must do this reflection over and over again. You see, as you reflect and you see that, yeah, indeed it's like that. It's almost like a chink of dirt come off. Yeah, a little bit of that dirt come off. But you must keep going at it. And as you verify, check, this is also impermanent. That is also dependent arising. That is also conditionally arising. This is also not inherent. Yeah. Again and again and again and again. Until one day, you know what happened? Si sim liao. Yeah. Until one day, si sim. Yeah. Si sing. Because otherwise, 我们不死心. Yeah. You hear a teaching, yeah lah, but I'm sure that's, you're quite okay this one. Until you utterly see him. Only when our distorted thinking sees him, then can wisdom arise. Yeah. Then you will approach life differently. Only then will you approach life differently. Otherwise, our old habits, our habitual tendency is just so strong. You just keep coming back. Now, for a person who can reach up to this stage, 有那天的梦想究竟涅槃, then can this person attain to ultimate nibbana, yeah? Ultimate liberation, which is none other than Buddhahood. 究竟涅槃. What is 究竟涅槃? You mean there's 不究竟的涅槃吗? Yeah, because the word 涅槃, nibbana, is extinguishing. Yeah, it means the word nirvana refers to extinguishing, the extinguishing of greed, hatred, and delusion. Yeah, and as a result, extinguishing of suffering. So, when we have I shared with you all the toy analogy? The toy analogy? I think so, right? Yeah. So, okay, let me jog your memory, okay? When we are young, we have toys. Remember? What happened? As far as our toy is concerned, we had a lot of fun. When it's taken away, we are sad. Yeah. Today, do you bring your toy? You didn't bring your toy. But are you sad? No, not sad. Yeah. So, what has changed? The way we relate to the toy. Yeah. We no longer feel so emotional about the toy. We are no longer so attached to the toy. Yeah. So, in a way, we have attained nibbana. As far as the toy is concerned, we have attained liberation. We are liberated from the toy. And as a result, we don't suffer over the toy, but we do not derive the same level of pleasure from the toy as well. We can still remember the nostalgia, the joy we had. Yeah? And we may even still play it with our nieces and nephews, but we don't derive the same amount of joy nor attachment. Yeah? That is why adults are able to lose to kids and be happy. Parents are able to lose to their kids and be happy. But I know that some fathers are not all, some, okay, some. Yeah, I've heard of yeah. That one is the 泥菩萨过江自身难保. Maybe the father, or sometimes maybe mother, initially with a good intention, let me entertain my kid. And then halfway, take the game too seriously. then quarrel, maybe. Yeah, but for someone who has reached this stage, then it is different. Not just partial. For us, we are partially enlightened. As far as that toy is concerned, we are enlightened. But we have replaced that toy with another toy. Yeah? Not just another toy, with many other toys. Yeah, because we end up thinking that if one toy gives me this much of pleasure, many toys will give me even more pleasure. Yeah? So we surround ourselves with a lot of toys. And by toys, I don't mean just toys. I mean 人事物. We surround ourselves with things that entertain us, things and people that give us pleasure and joy, things and people that give us comfort. All these things. Nothing wrong with that, because, or else what do we expect you to do? Go and look for things to make you suffer. Yeah, long pia. There's a door, you open, you can go out. Don't want. You bash through the door. Nothing wrong, no crime or shame seeking happiness. Yeah, but the Buddha is highlighting, know the difference between long-term happiness and short-term happiness. Yeah. As much as you pursue short-term happiness, you should keep your mind on the long-term happiness. Don't lose sight of that. If you lose sight of the short-term happiness, it's also a problem. Yeah, you don't eat. Yeah, after this class, you go back, and then your husband asks you, your wife asks you, "Hey, what happened to you? Why are you not eating, your meals?" Well, after I have attended the Heart Sutra, 心无怪，无怪故. So, 有 hunger 即是没有 hunger. Wow, jialat. Isn't it? When you eat and you remove your hunger, isn't that a short-term happiness? After a while, hungry again. When you're sick, you see the doctor. After a while, sick again. Sometimes it takes longer to be sick, sometimes faster to be sick. But ultimately, at some point, you again fall sick. Yeah? Is there one doctor who can say, you take this pill, that's it. Until you die, you will not fall sick. Any doctor can give you the guarantee? Cannot. Yeah, so all these are temporary relief from suffering. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah? But you must know that this is a temporary relief. Yeah? I ate this san yao. I ate this don't know, beetroot. I did this special 有机食品 organic like that. And I feel healthier. Yeah, but the health, is it guaranteed? Not guaranteed. Yeah, nothing wrong with pursuing it, but don't waste all your time and effort on it. Doesn't give you lasting, dependable certainty. No, doesn't give you that. Yeah, here, 究竟涅槃, ultimate, complete cessation of suffering. This is the 仙丹. Yeah, this is a 仙丹. But you cannot buy this. Yeah, you cannot come to Gongming-san and buy it. Yeah, but we can teach you how to make it. Yeah, through the Noble Eightfold Path, through the practice, through the cultivation. Yeah. So nirvana, as the Buddha attained it, it means that he is able to transcend all things. Yeah, and it's through this transcendence. Yeah, by transcending all things, including the phone ring, no problem. It's okay. Yeah, 有 phone ring 就是没有 phone ring. Ring 一拜搞得顶没有，哇，假啦。No. Yeah. Sometimes you got to wonder, you think about it, the phone has always been ringing this way. Yeah, but when when we are not in class and the phone ring, then there's no problem. Then when you're in class and the phone ring, then there's a problem. But yet we look at the phone ring as a problem. By right, you should also blame the class. Why you have the class? But not my fault lah. We have a class. Yeah. So do you see what I'm saying? Don't worry, don't be kanchiong. It's okay. Not your fault. Your friend call you. Maybe your friend know. Sunday go Heart Sutra, call you. See whether you pick up or not. Right? Yeah. I mean, if it happens to any of you, for most of you, you will be like, yeah. Some of you, hello, 阿醒啊，咩大事？冇啦，黑สุtra。Oh, if you can reflect and observe in this way, then it's okay. Yeah. But of course, for her to feel kanchiong, it is because she don't want to disturb the class. Yeah. Yeah. So even her kanchiongness is dependent arising. If she's not concerned about disturbing the class, then no problem. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. So same situation, but we may respond differently. Yeah. So initially, when we learn Buddhism, we try to be free of fear, free of harm, free of everything. Yeah, all the bad things we don't want. But as we learn Buddhism, then we cannot just run away anymore. We must go and observe. When there's anger, what is the immediate cause for the anger? To re-examine it. Instead of just thinking, here, that person made me angry. And then, but I must get rid of this anger. But it's that person's fault. But I try not to be angry lah. Your fault, but I don't want to be angry. That's why it's so hard not to be angry, because we still think that it's that person's fault. As long as you think that it's totally that person's fault, of course you're going to be angry with that person. But when you see that whatever happened due to many conditions, jialat. Sifu, last time I'm only angry with one person. Now I'm angry with many people. If you please don't go that way. Yeah, it's supposed to help you see that it's nobody's fault. It doesn't have to be anyone's fault. Okay, in case if any of you end up with the wrong conclusion. 不学佛还好，越学越烦恼。Yeah, but if you manage to not do that, then 究竟涅槃，三世诸佛依般若波罗蜜多故，得阿耨多罗三藐三菩提。So 三世诸佛, not just this present Buddha, not just the Buddhas in the past, but all future Buddhas as well. Yeah, 三世 here refers to 过去世、未来世、今世。Yeah. So, in the past, into the future, and in the present. Yeah? So, this is a very bold statement, a very firm statement. If you recall some of the chanting, there's one, 若人欲了知三世一切佛，因光法界性，一切唯心造。Yeah. Last time I attend some of this puja, chant. So don't know why I'm chanting. Then after learning the teachings, and I attend the puja again, this 4 verse very deep, no? Yeah, there's so much meaning inside. Yeah, there's so much meaning inside. This is linked to the teaching on 那个犯所有相皆是虚妄，若见诸相非相，即见如来。Yeah. That if you can see all things, then all things are illusionary. Yeah. Illusory. That all things are unreal. That is impermanent, dependent arising, conditionally arising, is empty. then you see that it's all empty. Yeah. In this way, when you see the truth in this way, then you see the Buddha. And once you have seen one Buddha, you have seen all Buddha. Don't have to say, see this Buddha, go and look for that Buddha. All Buddhas, they realize the same truth. They all realize the same truth. The Buddha in the past realized this same truth. The Buddha in the future realized this same truth. The same as our Sakyamuni Buddha. Realize the same truth. And in future, when you all attain enlightenment, you all will look back and say, yes, this same truth that Sakyamuni Buddha realized, I realize. How? Does it give you the high? No, give me the high. Well, just think about it. 三世诸佛依般若波罗蜜多故. This is quite interesting. It may seem like 多此一举. Of course, through the perfection of wisdom. 依般若波罗蜜多故. Through the perfection of wisdom. But here is again, in a way, like a affirmation. So when you learn this sutra up to this point, and now suddenly someone come and tell you, no, you don't have to practice so hard. Got easier way, yeah. Or you just chant this word, or you just go and do this ritual. Then, this master or that supreme being or whatever, download the wisdom onto you. Come, download. Then, attain enlightenment. No, it's always through the perfection of wisdom. Only when you have perfected your wisdom, if not, you cannot attain Buddhahood. But through the perfection of wisdom, the Buddhas of all three time periods, the Anyao Tolo Samyao Samputi, Anyao Tolo, Anuttara, unsurpassed, Samyak, Sambodhi, 正等正觉, Wu Sang 正等正觉. So, this is the same I wrote down here in Pali, Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. Samma Sambuddhi. So, when we recite this, it may seem like, I don't know what is it talking about. But this is found in all the traditions. The description of the Buddha's final attainment. Attainment of perfect enlightenment. Perfect enlightenment that is unsurpassed. Nobody else surpassed this as far as wisdom is concerned. You may cook laksa better than the Buddha. I don't know. Hard to say. You may cook. Yesterday we had this live streaming training. So Biling got us mee pok. So then we were having a discussion. Maybe next time for the Heart Sutra class have to talk about mee pok. Do you all like mee pok? How many of you like mee pok? Raise your hand. Not so much, How many of you don't like mee pok? There are actually people who don't like mee pok. How many of you are neutral towards mee pok? Okay. So as you can see, mee pok not so popular. No wonder not so easy to find mee pok, I tell you, I have some funny joke about mee pok. A few times students ask me, so Sifu, what would you like to have? They want to offer lunch. Then I say, what can you find? Then they come out with a list of different things. So I said, maybe try mee pok. I said, okay, try. Then later when they arrive, become jing mi, the mi kia. I say, where's the mee pok? Then a lot of different reasons. Sometimes, they don't have. Sometimes, I look at the mee pok, then I thought, maybe you don't like mee pok. I already tell you mee pok, then you still don't. So I was telling them that one day I was at Ang Mo Kio. I'm not angry with anyone. I'm just relating to you. It's very funny. So one day, after a house blessing, went to the hawker center with this devotee. So he asked me, so Sifu, what do you want? So a lot of things. So again, I ordered mee pok. Then we sat down, ordered tea, we chit-chat a bit, then the mee pok arrived. No, the mee pok never arrived. instead arrived mee kia. So I was like, what happened to the mee pok? Then he looked at me, you want mee pok? Somehow mee pok, this word cannot register. Yeah. Then the other day, one student offered to bring lunch, and I never asked for mee pok. Then mee pok arrived. Our perception, our expectation, and disappointment. Yeah. So when things don't go our way, sometimes we are sad, but sometimes we have 意外惊喜. Yeah, that's why we are so stuck, That's why we are so stuck. Okay, quickly. No mee pok anymore. Okay, 得阿耨多罗三藐三菩提. When you 得阿耨多罗三藐三菩提, whether you get mee pok or not, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. That is equal with other Buddhas. All Buddhas' enlightenment are equal. Yeah, not that one Buddha is more superior than the other. Yeah, or inferior, no. 故知般若波罗蜜多四大神咒、四大明咒、四无上咒、四无等等咒，能除一切苦，真实不虚。So here, 故知般若波罗蜜多四大神咒. So over here, this is where, in some tradition and lineage, they would then draw the conclusion that, there is some supreme mantra, yeah, that this teaching is actually a mantra. No, it's not a mantra. Here the word 咒, the word 咒, we usually think of it as a mantra that you must recite. But mantra basically refers to a verse that you just keep in mind. You always keep in mind. Yeah. So like 缘起性空为名 is a mantra. But this is a teaching. This is a divine teaching. This verse itself, 缘起性空, is a divine spiritual mantra. Yeah, here 四大神咒, the 神 here is not that it come from some god, but it's that it's 神奇微妙. Yeah, that is rare. Nobody talk about it. Yeah, and not apparent. Yeah, but it's very precious. So here it's not referring to some mantra, and it connects with the next one. Because after this, then there's the gate, paragate. Then a lot of people then think that, you just recite this every day. 揭谛揭谛，波罗揭谛，波罗僧揭谛，菩提萨婆诃。揭谛揭谛。Then have wisdom. No. If there's one mantra, it is 缘起性空. Yeah. 缘起有自性空. This is the mantra. But it's not meant to be a mantra that you just recite. Yeah. Originally, when we say mantra, it is that you just keep this in mind all the time. Which is what I've been sharing with you, isn't it? Yeah? Keep on reflecting over this teaching. Keep on reflecting over this teaching. This is what it's meant by mantra. Yeah? When you recite, let's say, Om Mani Padme Hum. By right, it's not just Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. It's what does this Om Mani Padme Hum represent? Represents compassion. Keep compassion in your mind. Makes more sense, isn't it? And not just some sound in your mind. If you keep compassion in your mind, then that way you are like Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. To keep, when we say, this Bodhisattva, that Buddha has a Xingzhou, the heart mantra, it means that this is the verse, this is the principle, this is the teaching that this Bodhisattva keep in his heart. Yeah. So, in this way, if you keep that same teaching in your heart, then you become like the Bodhisattva, become more enlightened, and ultimately become enlightened. Yeah. 四大神咒, 四大明咒. This Ming here refers to how it is clarifying. It's a wisdom teaching. Yeah, it's a wisdom teaching. The Zhou here refers to the teaching. Okay, and if you want to have a 咒, okay, I give you 缘起性空. Anything happen 缘起性空. 缘起有自性空. Yeah. And it's not just meant to just say, I must connect and see that, yes, whatever happened is indeed Yuan Qi Xing Kong. Then in this way, you really make it a 四大神咒, 四大明咒, 四无上咒, that it is unsurpassed. So it is not that the Gati Gati is unsurpassed. Yeah? It is that this perfection of wisdom is unsurpassed. There's no other wisdom that is beyond this already. Yeah? This is ultimate reality. This is the way it is. 无了. Yeah? 四无上咒, 四无等等咒. And in fact, there's no other teaching on wisdom that surpass or equal this. Yeah? Because if it's equal, then it's the same. If as long as it's different, then it's not. It's equal. Yeah? But if you want to say, but can this teaching teach us how to balance the account sheet? Not, I don't think so. Yeah. Can it teach us this and that? It can teach us how to face it, but not necessarily how to do it. Yeah. Some people think that with the Buddha's teaching you should be able to do everything. No, not necessarily. But it may teach you how to handle it, face it in a more wholesome way. Yeah. So, 等等咒能除一切苦. Yeah, and that ultimately, that this teaching can help you to remove all suffering. Yeah. I want you to think about what I've just said. Make sense or not? Because in many lineages, they take this as really, there's some mantra, and they think that it's referring to the mantra, the verse at the back. Yeah. But in my lineage, I'm taught differently. Yeah, that all this refers to the teaching itself. Yeah, the teaching itself. Then it makes sense. Then it makes complete sense. 能除一切苦. The teachings can remove all suffering. Yeah, and this brings us all the way back to the first line. 观自在菩萨行深般若波罗蜜多时，照见无蕴皆空，度一切苦厄. We never say 观自在菩萨行持等等咒能除一切苦. No, it says 行深般若波罗蜜多时，照见无蕴皆空，度一切苦厄. Never say 持一个咒度一切苦厄. Isn't it? So this is a reference back to the first line, and it completes the whole teaching. Yeah? That it is true. Through this repeated practice, of perfection of wisdom, in deep jhana, that you are able to see that all things encompassed by the five aggregates, form, feelings, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, is all empty. It's all conditionally arising, dependently arising. When you can see that, then you realize that there's nothing that you can cling on. Clinging fades away. Clinging doesn't arise anymore. Whatever clinging that has arisen fades away, and no new clinging arises. No more new attachment arises. And because of that, 心无挂碍，无挂碍故，无有恐怖，远离颠倒梦想. Yeah? And that's how 能度一切苦. Yeah? Here, 能除一切苦. Same thing. Yeah? It's able to remove all suffering. Yeah? It's able to remove all suffering. Yes. What's the difference? What's the difference? One is Pali, one is Sanskrit. This is the one that we have here. Anatolo Samyao Sampoti. This is a transliteration from Sanskrit. Yeah. And what I wrote down here, Pali. See, Pali. No? Samma Sambodhi, Pali. It's referring to the same word. It's like we say, To Ting and Cheng Ting. Referring to the same thing. Referring to the same thing. 能除一切苦，真实不虚. This 真实不虚, I want to share with you all what my teacher elucidated. 真实 quite straightforward, yeah, that it is the truth, yeah, ultimate reality, the truth and nothing but the truth. But the 不虚 interesting. Yeah, 不虚 seems to be the opposite of 真实. So that my teacher explained, he says, this world give us the wrong perception. Our perception, initially when we look at this world, seems to be quite permanent. But as you observe more and more, not so permanent. This world, some things give you suffering, some things don't give you suffering. Seems to give you pleasure. But as you associate with it more and more, it starts to give you bits and pieces of suffering. Yeah. So what is up front is not what you get. It is not we see weak. Do you all remember the term we see weak? What you see is what you get. Yeah. Those of you who are exposed to the computer industry long enough, yeah, in the late 80s and early 90s, there's this whole drive to we see weak. Yeah. Don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, never mind. If you want to have more information, go and look at word star. Yeah, word star. Word star is a word processor, and then there was word perfect. Yeah, both are in the early form. They were not we see weak. Then word perfect took the first step to become we see weak. Yeah, so now it's like common sense. You type and then you just select and you press Control B, it becomes bow. Last time, Control K B, Control K this, and Control K or whatever. Then you see the angle B and whatever come out. Yeah. Then after that, you can look at the final form, how it looks like. I'll go back and change again. Yeah. This world, not what you see is what you get. What you see is not what you get. But this teaching, what you see is what you get. Up front, it tells you this world is impermanent. Yeah, as you observe more and more, yeah, it's really impermanent. Up front, it tells you this world is suffering. As you see more and more, yes, indeed, it's suffering. Yeah, and so on. This teaching says, if you practice and learn in this way, if you learn and practice in this way, less and less suffering. Yeah, more and more suffering removed. As you go on and on, yes, indeed, more and more suffering is removed. Yeah. Worldly things, promises us, if you buy our toothbrush, you'll be as happy as the person inside. Where got such things? Yeah. I was sharing in one of the class in ESSEC about how when you buy, when you watch all those advertisements, yeah, they have the. I don't know whether these advertisements go onto the TV or what, but I've seen some on YouTube. The advertisement for like smartphone or like the Microsoft Surface Touch whatever, right? Wow! Then always the person looks so happy, Yeah. So I told the students in ESSEC, you see the MacBook Air, and the person so happily doing report and then close and then listening to music. They never show you how when the person is using MacBook Pro, yeah, trying to rush for deadline, get so stressed and then thing hang. What you see is not what you get, huh? And it's not just advertising. Yeah, this whole world has this tendency to lie. Yeah. So, whereas the teaching itself is about the truth, yeah, and it promises that if you practice in this way, then you would be free of suffering. Yeah, you'll be free of suffering. 故说般若波罗蜜多咒. And it is for this sake that this teaching is being expounded. Yeah? It is for this sake that this teaching is being expounded. So you see, 故说般若波罗蜜多咒, that it is because of this that the perfection of wisdom verses are being expounded. Yeah, 记说咒耶, and then the following verses are said. So this verses is not that verse. But somehow people think that this verse is that verse, and then yeah. It is because this teaching can remove all suffering. That this teaching is a divine teaching, it is a wisdom teaching, it is an unsurpassed teaching, yeah. It is an incomparable teaching, and so on. Yeah. Out of compassion that the Buddha teach this teaching. It's for this reason that the Buddha teach. And then further, and the following was said: 记说咒耶, 揭谛揭谛, 波罗揭谛, 波罗僧揭谛, 菩提萨婆诃. Yeah, and then there's this way of chanting this: gate gate, paragate, parasangate, buddhi swaha. Wow. But of course, when you chant in this way, it gives you a different feeling, isn't it? Yeah. Versus if you just recite gate gate, paragate, parasangate, buddhi swaha. Yeah. Or versus you just recite 缘起性空，性空缘明. Feeling is different. So if you feel a bit emotionally down, maybe you can recite gate gate, paragate, parasangate, buddhi swaha, or maybe uplift you. But don't just keep using this. This is like Panadol, you know. Panadol, if you eat too much, then it doesn't work anymore. Yeah. After you eat Panadol, then you must check, why are you having headache? Is it because you are not drinking enough water? Is it because you are not having enough rest? Yeah. Then you must change your diet, or you must change your lifestyle. Yeah. Yes. Do you know why? Don't know. There's a scientific explanation for that. It's not explanation. It is what they examine and they observe. That anything that can dehydrate us, whether it's because we don't drink enough water, so we get dehydrated, so the body will compensate, and the body will then reallocate the water reserve. Remember from primary school science or secondary school science, 70% of our body is water. Yeah, whether in terms of our blood or our cells itself. So what the body will do is that when there's not enough water, it will just reallocate, and up to some point, they will tap onto a part of our head, the membrane or something. Yeah, it will start to say, okay, pass us some water. Yeah. And when that is also start to be depleted, it causes the thing to shrink. And that is what causes the tightening that leads to our headache. When we take alcohol, I think it's the liver, it uses up a lot of water to do the detoxification, to break down the alcohol. Yeah. Yeah, they use water to break it down. So when you drink alcohol, it actually, there's a term for it, I can't remember the term, but it dehydrates you. Yeah. So then you get headache. Bonus knowledge. But if you don't know, you have ignorance. But the kind of ignorance, no problem. Yeah. So if you can realize all that, then you can attain to enlightenment. But a bit of this part, the gate, paragate, gate, go beyond, completely go beyond. Now, in some of the commentary, it says that this was the Buddha's exhortation to the various disciples who were listening to this teaching. Yeah, the go is to urge them to start to practice and then to go beyond. So they are all at different stages. So each of these gate, paragate, parasangate is referring to each of these different disciples to go forward at different stages. Yeah. So some say that the first goal refers to reach the first fruit. The second goal is to reach a certain other fruit. And then paragate is to reach stage 7. Parasangate is to reach all the way to stage 10. Yeah. So this is in a way, a more literal meaning. Yeah, what was meant to be. Yeah. But today, in various traditions, they take this as the perfection of wisdom mantra. And they just keep reciting this, thinking that reciting in this way, will give rise to wisdom. That is like saying, you go and see a doctor, the doctor gives you some pills, and the counter nurse or the staff tell you, the pharmacist instruct you, this pill 3 times a day before meal. Yeah, that meal only when you have headache. Yeah, the other one if you have gastric issue. Okay, go back. Then you go back, instead of taking the pills, you recite 3 times a day before meal. Yeah, then this one only if I'm having headache. The other one if I'm having gastric. If you recite all this repeatedly, will it cure you? Will it cure you? Think about it. And with that, we complete the teaching on the Heart Sutra. We have covered many things. Yeah, we have covered many things. There may be some areas that you have questions or doubts. This is a time to ask and clarify. Come, yes. Yes. Okay, so 2 parts. One, Sifu don't seem to value chanting much. Yes, that's true. Undeniably. I have improved. Last time, I'm totally against chanting. Now, I don't value so much. When we say don't value so much, half empty, half full, it means I also value it. Just not so much. Yeah. Why? Because it is meant to be a precursor training. Yeah. Even in the Tibetan tradition, when they have the Sijia Xing, actually, to use the word Sijia Xing is a bit wrong, because the Buddha used the Sijia Xing as in a different way. Nuan Ting Ren Si Di is what the Buddha described as Sijia Xing. Yeah, but then they adopt the same word but give it a different meaning. Today we usually think of Sijia Xing as the Tibetan practice of doing prostration 100,000 times, doing offering 100,000 times, taking refuge 100,000 times, yeah, and then reciting the mantra 100,000 times. Yeah. But you will notice that this is called the preliminary practice. It's not the main practice actually. But most people never finish it, so it becomes the main practice. So in fact, I'm in agreement with the Tibetan practice. Because they actually don't look at it as the primary practice. It is a preliminary. It's just that most of us, when I was before I got ordained, I was in a way headhunted by this Tibetan group. They asked me whether I'll be keen to join them. And the senior monk actually laid out the whole sequence of path that if I were to join them, I would undergo the kind of training. And the whole process would take 10 over 20 years. Yeah, about easily 15 to 18 years, thereabout. Yeah, but most lay disciple in Singapore or in other countries, you also think that you are practicing Tibetan Buddhism, yeah. But when do you hear the message that you must do 18 years of practice? No, yeah. The practice of chanting is found in all traditions, even Theravada, yeah. But it's definitely not the core practice. Cannot be the core practice. Yeah, because what are you chanting? We are chanting the instructions given by the Buddha. Yeah. The Buddha's instruction is meant to be reflected upon and then executed, not simply to be recited. Isn't it? Yeah. So, as far as the Tibetan lineage is concerned, there's no conflict. Yeah, because what I was told is that if I were to join them, then they would actually get me to learn the Tibetan language and then attend one of the Santa Si within, I think, in India. And then after that, after we have learned through the sutras, then we will go through the later part, which is to learn the commentaries and so on. Yeah, all the way up to, I don't know, who knows, if I'm successful, become Gershila or whatever. But that is too far ahead. So he says the basic takes 15 to 18 years. Yeah. So for me personally, a long time ago, I asked my mom this question: do you know what you are chanting? And she's like, very standard answer. Anything, go and ask Sifu. But I told her, I said, no, you cannot just push everything to Sifu. Yeah, you must know yourself why you are doing this. What is the purpose of this practice? Why? Because I told her, the example I gave her was, if now you get into a bus accident, do you have the time to, about to crash, then you call Sifu, hey Sifu, 赶快接嘞, 赶快接, what am I supposed to do now? No, you can't. You have to know how to respond. Should it be 一心念佛? Or should it be observing the breath? What is the mindset? Yeah. When something good or bad happens, how do we respond? Are we able to know simply through just everything Amitofo? But which brings us to the next point, Pure Land Buddhism. Pure Land Buddhism now is relegated to just chant Amitofo. But if you really go and look at Jing Tu Wu Jing, yeah, in Amitofo Jing it says that within Pure Land, when you go to Pure Land, even the birds and the trees, when they produce sound, it speaks about 五根五力七菩提分八圣道支, which is basically the later factors of 37 factors of enlightenment. One could even say that the four foundations of mindfulness is not mentioned because you are supposed to have practiced it when you are here. You know? Yeah. One could also say that the 四正勤, 四如意足 is not even mentioned because to be able to go to Pure Land, you probably have to already have that. Yeah. But suffice to say that when you go to Pure Land, you don't simply just go there and continue, Amitofo, Amitofo. No. That's why in US we have this joke. Me and my senior Dharma brother, we were having this joke. A lot of Pure Landers indeed have this mindset that I just chant Amitofo. I don't have to, nor do I want to preoccupy myself with learning Dharma or meditate. This is a common misconception. So the best thing is, some of them don't even realize that one of the key prerequisites is they must arouse bodhicitta. 要发菩提心. Yeah. You must want to take on this other's path of being a bodhisattva to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Only then do you qualify. As to 上品上身 or 下品下身, 九品往生, within the Guan无量寿经, it lists out. In the Amitofo Jing, 小本 Amitofo Jing, never talk about that. Yeah. It's like when you enter university, they give you a single one-sheet brochure. Yeah. Amitofo Jing is like that one-sheet brochure. Yeah. Prospectus guide. Come to this university. We train future Buddhas. Yeah. Train future. I don't want to become a Buddha. Then why do you want to come here? No, but I want to go Pure Land. People say go Pure Land very good, no more suffering. Yeah, but that's not the point. You come here to be trained as a Buddha, to become a Buddha. Do you want to become a Buddha or not? Don't want, very strongly. Then you cannot come here. Yeah, you think you come here for a good time, Western paradise. Come here then just, yeah. You come here to be trained to become a Buddha. Which means that you come here, it's not the end, This is the start. You come here and then after that, life after life, you are going to do the Bodhisattva work. Yeah. And when there are conditions to appear as a Buddha, then you appear as a Buddha. You don't just keep walking around, hey Buddha, how are you? No. Yeah, sometimes it requires you to, in order to liberate sentient beings, appear in various forms, in states of suffering, so that you can reach out to the being who is suffering there. So, personally, I'm not against chanting, yeah, but I'm against people who take chanting as an end by itself. Yeah. Oh. That's a very subtle but very important distinction. Yeah. Nothing wrong with chanting. I've done my share of chanting before. Yeah, and sometimes I also still do chanting. Yeah. But if you end up thinking that chanting is an end by itself, then you may be in for a surprise. Yeah, which is what me and my Dharma brother we shared. Imagine those people who have this mindset, 就是一心念佛，什么都不要管了. To think that now I can only do this is one thing. Like some very senior elderly, 80 years old, yeah, 90 years old, yeah, the eyes failing, cannot read Sutra, ears failing, cannot listen to Dhamma talk, yeah, and then linguistically, cannot understand English or Chinese. Then Sifu can barely explain much things in Hokkien. Can only say "Kuan tiu, kuan bi tiu, kuan sa la." Then how? Then okay lah, nian fo lah. So sometimes the context is important. Yeah, but if you take that and then everybody, by right, yeah, not so old, can still think and can still reflect, can still learn and can still meditate, don't want. Then these people, when they arrive in Pure Land, they are in for a surprise. Yeah, go there, 要打坐啊？我不喜欢打坐嘞。我在新加坡的时候，人家跟我说净土不用打坐的嘞。假啦 Go there. Can you imagine? Would that be hell or not? that may become like hell. Somehow because once you go there, cannot come out until you attain enlightenment. 我好凶啊！哇 Somehow, if you are not of the higher level, it takes maybe take many kalpas. 60大劫哇，60大劫打坐哇，凶啊！Okay. Next question. What do I think? Short answer, good. Is there any effect? Okay, her question is, when a person is sick and we do chanting and do dedication, what is the effect? Yeah, does a person really get the blessing? The Buddha himself, on a few occasions, was not well. And then he asked Venerable Ananda, he asked another Venerable at different occasions to recite certain teachings to him. Yeah, because he was not well, so he asked them to recite, and through listening to the teachings being recited, yeah, he was able to focus and abate that agitation in the body. Interesting, huh? Yeah. But I would go further to say that it depends on the person, how that person relate to the chanting. Okay, if a person in their life have positive impression of Buddhism, yeah, then the chanting can help them tremendously. If the person don't believe in Buddhism, you go and chant. Yeah, initially stage 1. After chanting, becomes stage 4. 不要再唱，不要再诵了。That's why in Buddhism we don't go and force ourselves on people of other religion. Yeah, if you know that the person is not a Buddhist, a Christian, or some other faith, then you go there. Hey, I come and do chanting for you, okay? Then the person very big. Then you 为了你好，哎，合掌合掌。哇 then someone give him 大悲咒。哇 when you chant 大悲咒 in that way, is it 大悲？ Yeah. But having said that, I have ever encouraged students to do this. If you know that the person is inclined towards Buddhism, you can go and chant with them. Yeah. But if they are not inclined to Buddhism, you can chant on your own and dedicate privately to them. Don't have to do and chant in their face, ma. Yeah. And then about chanting again, there was once I visited this lung cancer patient. So I went there and I wanted to do chanting with them. I asked them, what is the usual things that the husband chanted when he was well? Yeah. So they told me that the husband tend to chant Om Mani Padme Hum. Yeah. So I chant Om Mani Padme Hum with them. Yeah. For me personally, although I was trained in the Chinese Mahayana lineage, and in our monastery in US, we don't do much chanting. Yeah. We only chant two things usually, 大悲咒 and 心经. Usually. At a later stage, then my teacher, out of compassion to some of the disciples, keep asking, 我们是不是应该要念阿弥陀经? Like keep asking, no. Ask until my teacher, 好了好了，念了。Some people just cannot take no for an answer. No? Ask once, 不用，我们就念大悲咒啊，就专心。No, ask again. Okay 了。Yeah. So for me, when I go to do visits, whether it's hospital or deathbed and so on, I will usually ask what is their preference. Yeah, because if the person have been chanting Ami Tuo Fo for the whole life, then you go there, Namo Tassa, Luan, the person will get confused. But as to the effect, that I have confidence that there's the effect. Yeah, but there's no absolute effect. Even this effect is 缘起性空. Even this effect is 缘起性空. And one of the yuan is this person. So if that person don't connect with this chanting, there's no effect. Because if there's inherent effect in the chanting, then we should just chant and then 回向给 everybody and make everybody Buddhist. Yeah, and if we chant hard enough, long enough, well, then one Sunday, we don't say which religion because we are recording. Then one day, suddenly, wow, whole of Singapore all wake up. How come I don't feel like going to the whatever place? I feel like I must go Coming Sun today. Wow, then although it's not Qingming, maybe it's June, no festival, then suddenly, wow, 四面八方, wow, then the CNA reporting, this Channel News Asia, we are having some severe traffic jams. Sunday morning, 11 plus, a lot of people coming here. Let's interview this person. Why are you coming here? I don't know why. But I just suddenly feel like, going to the Coming Sun. This thing just keep coming in my mind. 心经, what is 心经? Doesn't work that way. Okay, next question. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, is there a distinction? Of course there's a distinction. If there's no distinction, then we can also chant Hallelujah. No, when you say you chant the rosary refers to the beads, but Yeah. What do you chant? Yeah, so you actually recite that? Do you think, okay, so is the matter itself is small. Whether you chant Hail Mary or not, you take the rosary bead with the cross at the end or not, that's just the expression of a mindset. Mindset, 正见, your right view. If you have a view that all religions are the same, are all good, then of course doing this is okay. Yeah. But is that really right view? This is the more important thing. You hold a rosary bead. A lot of actors also do that. Doesn't mean they believe in Christ. They will. So your statement, all religions are good. We need to qualify that. Yeah, we need to qualify that. Today, no religion would say go and kill someone, but in various religious texts, very explicitly, there's mention about instructions to kill. Yeah. Huh? You don't think so? You go and search, no? Huh? That is no good, lah. But then we ignore that, lah. In order to make all religions good, we ignore this part and that part and this. But let's ignore all that for now, okay? When we say all religions are good, this is going to take a while. I will cut it short, okay? Simply put, if you subscribe to the belief that all religions are good, then chanting that is no issue. But if you further examine this statement that all religions are good, then there are implications. Yeah. First of all, if all religions are good, then why choose one religion over the other? Because when we say all religions are good, it's almost synonymous to saying all religions are equal. And in fact, some people then draw that conclusion. Yeah. Since all religions are good, then all religions are equal. Yeah. To me, all religions try to do good. But everybody have different idea of what is good. So they end up with different results. So we cannot say that they are equal. Buddhists we adopt the Buddha's teaching and wisdom, and we say that because all things are dependent, arising, and empty, so there's not so much of a reason to go and fight with people. This is our reason why we don't fight with people. For other religions, such as Christianity, then it is that because we're all creations of God, so we should not harm our neighbor, yeah, and so on. Yeah, I'm not an authority in Christianity, so I will refrain from further interpreting. Yeah, but this is a different reason. The end result may be similar, but still a different reason. And because the reasons are different, under different circumstances, the results may vary. In Buddhism, there are certain things that don't have exceptions. Like no killing. No killing is no killing. There are no exceptions. Yeah? It is not because the Buddha say that there's no killing, then you don't kill. Because in that case, if it is because Buddha says so, if someone else managed to convince you that he's Buddha, he can tell you to go and kill later. If he happened to tell you to kill later. But in Buddhism, we say that if a person tells you to kill, then that person is not Buddha. Yeah? 不得以32相得见如来. Cannot simply because he looks like a Buddha, then he is Buddha. Yeah. But it is by virtue of whether this person has the full features, the wisdom, compassion, then he is a Buddha. Yeah. So, as I said, this itself is very long. Yeah. If you want, when we finish the class, I can further elaborate. Yeah. But you can ask yourself, I personally don't think it's equal, as I've explained. But we may individually, Buddhism is not a monarchy. I say so, you must all agree. Some of you may still think, no, I have Christian friends who are quite nice. My Catholic friends are, yes, they are nice. But just because they are nice doesn't mean that we are equal. Yeah. But if you adopt that, then you have to ask yourself, is it two ways? Yeah, is it two ways? I have this Catholic priest. who tried to convince me that all religions are indeed one. And he even suggests to me his own personal opinion, that perhaps Christ and Buddha is not so different. That perhaps Pure Land and heaven is not so different. That perhaps being one with God and Nirvana is not so different. We had this exchange of emails over 3 months, a few years ago. And in the end, it was the Buddhist monk who was quoting the Bible to convince the Catholic priest that this is not true. At some point, I realized that we were not getting anywhere. So I told him, I said, okay, let's assume that it's true. His statement to start off with was that we are all different religions, but we all meditate to reach God. So I said, no, we don't do that. And that's where he said that we are actually not so different. So I take a step back and say, okay, what if it's true? Then I asked him, if it's true that it's all equal, then can we say that Christians are meditating to reach enlightenment, to become Buddha? Then he said no. You understand what I'm saying? So from there, instead of trying to convince him that it's not equal, I say, let's assume what you are saying is true, that it's equal. If it's equal, then it should go 2 ways. That we are meditating to reach God, and by reaching God is to attain enlightenment. In which case, then we can also say that Christians are meditating to reach enlightenment, to become perfect, become like Buddha. But he don't agree with that. He say that if you take that as a belief, yes, but not as a statement of fact. I'm like, for us to reach God, yes, it's okay as a fact. But the other way around is a belief. So you have to ask yourself, how many Christians would think that we are all equal in the same way as you to say, I chant Hail Mary is okay? Because you must understand, when you recite Hail Mary, gracious and so on, full of grace and so on, grace, what's the meaning of grace? In Christian theology, there's only one who is capable of grace, God. No one else is able to have grace. Because who are we to give grace? Nobody else. And in the Catholic faith, why Mary? And that's why there are some Protestants who disagree with this, because they say, but Mary is just another person. But then Catholics believe that she must be divine because she was she gave birth to Christ through immaculate birth, and so on and so forth. You need to learn a bit more about Christian theology to appreciate that just reciting that is a development of their conviction to their tenets of Christianity. But if you just recite it like you might as well be reciting "Count on me, Singapore," if you don't mean it, you can chant anything you want. But if you do that, then wouldn't you be insincere to them? But if you were to chant it sincerely with them, then wouldn't you be insincere to yourself if you subscribe to the Buddhist teaching? So there's no way to be sincere to everybody, And because the teachings point to different things. One points to that there's one creator God, and I'm not here to refute that there's one or not. It's just that we don't have such a belief. They have such a belief. It's okay, fine. When you celebrate Christmas, I can say, okay, I share that. I'm happy for you that you have such a belief. If that belief helps you to be a happier person, better person, good. 2 thumbs up. But I don't share in that. Is it okay? Of course, it's okay. Just like if each and every one of us have someone that we love. I'm happy for you that you found someone who loves you and you love. But doesn't mean I must share in that love, ma. Your wedding anniversary, I go and celebrate with you. But doesn't mean that I also love your husband and you in the same way, right? Understand? As to ultimately, which way you want to do, that is up to you. But the thing is, if you do it in a certain way, then you are insincere in one way or another. Make sense? Why should our sisters put us in such a dilemma? It's not that she's in a dilemma. She was put into such a dilemma.
Yeah. Why should we be apologetic for people's misbehavior? That people put us into this situation and then in the end we are the one who is skunk call. well, we spend our whole life apologizing for people's mistake, We should stop doing that. We should just say, hey, don't put me in a spot. How do you feel if I ask you to come and chant Tapezo with me? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's as simple as that. That's why we don't force people to come and join us for our prayers. Whereas if you go to some of the, like, funeral, if it's a Christian funeral, they'll insist everybody sit down and listen to their sermon, Buddhists are, okay lah, I just WhatsApp Sifu or just chit-chat with Sifu. Yeah. Okay, next question. Yes. Okay, so first question, when you chant, some people say that when they chant and then they become very deep and quiet and then they can see the heaven and so on and so forth. You don't need to chant to see the heaven. You can go on the internet and search heaven. You see a lot of pictures. Well, jokes aside, but to begin with, I don't recall any instructions inside the sutras about mantras that talk about seeing heaven as a goal. So if they see heaven, they should just discard that and come back to the mantra. But most people like to see things. That's why we go to watch movies, we go traveling to see things. Yeah? This is our habitual tendency. We like to see things that we don't normally see, or that we don't normally see under normal circumstances. So chant, wow, then we forget about mantra. In Da Bao Ji Jing, and various places, it mentions how do you recite a mantra. In particular, Da Bei Zhou. It lists out 10 mental qualities that you should cultivate if you say you recite Da Bei Zhou. That it says that ultimately, you must not just recite the words, That truly, when you say 持诵 or 受持大悲咒, it means that you must cultivate great love and great compassion. That you must cultivate equanimity. You must cultivate even the wisdom of emptiness. Then you are 受持大悲咒. Then it's quite different from chanting until you can see heaven. Okay, so that's the first part. Second question. What is the second question? 消业障. So, the second question is it true that there are two parts to the question. First part is it true that all sickness, that sickness is due to karma, past karma? Yes and no. The Buddha highlighted that there are 4 forces in this world that can make things happen. Only one of them is karma. Yeah? The other ones is, like for example, the power of seeds to grow. Yeah? Then there's the 4 elements, various forces. Yeah, various forces. Yeah? 5 niyamas or something. Yeah? So only karma is only one of them. Yeah, only one of them. So there are some cases where he mentioned a person may fall sick because the 4 elements are imbalanced. Yeah? Don't believe? Very simple. You just go and drink too much water. Just now we talked about drink 2 liters water, you have headache. You drink too much water, you have problem also. Yeah. Is it hydropoxy or something? Yeah, drink too much water, you get water poisoning. Why? Water poisoning is basically where you drink too much water, the level is too diluted in a way, such that the electrolyte and all the things cannot flow properly. Yeah, then it causes a malfunctioning of our nervous system. Yeah, so first thing is, not all sickness is due to past karma. So for example, hunger is a sickness. Yeah, headache is a sickness. Let's not talk about heavy sickness like cancer, all those things. If you have headache, do you think just chanting Amitofo will cure it? No. Yeah, it may cause you to focus on the chanting and then forget about the pain. And because this pain comes and go, then by the time it has gone, you are so focused, you forget about the pain. Yeah. If you have next time when you cut yourself, okay, and it's bleeding, try chanting. See whether it will dry itself. It won't. Yeah, you have to stop the bleeding, isn't it? So from this simple example, we know that not all sickness is due to past karma, as in past life. But it can be due to past karma in this life. Yeah. So example, headache. Again, headache. If you live in a certain way, your way of living is your karma. Karma means action. Yeah. Not just past life. This life, as we do things, live in a certain way, is also karma. So sometimes it's due to present life karma, and that karma creates this result. Yeah. So it's not always like, oh, 行善 or 造恶. Yeah. Sometimes, like, you drink not so much water, is that unwholesome? Is it evil? No, isn't it? Yeah, but it has the result of giving you headache. Yeah. Are there cases where it's due to karma? You harm people. Yes, it's stated in the Sutta. Yeah, it is stated in the Sutta. Yeah, so you can have that. So in such cases, if you are to do practice of chanting, yeah, and not just chanting. You see, the reason why most people just keep thinking about chanting is because at this point, most people have already got into the culture and mindset. The only way of cultivation is chanting. Yeah, if you ask someone, you go and meditate, people like, huh, meditate? No lah, which mantra to chant? No, you can go and read the Heart Sutra and reflect. Like that can Yeah, but why not? Yeah, why not? In the Diamond Sutra it says, 若人以此经受持读诵乃至四句偈. Yeah, even if it's just up to 4 verses, and you can penetrate into the teaching, your merits is massive. Yeah. So is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Yeah. When you practice and do wholesome deeds, then your mind disconnect with unwholesome karma, unwholesome seeds. Yeah. If the past karma is due to this unwholesomeness, then you may disconnect. Yeah, or your sickness is due to past unwholesome seeds. It may disconnect and be relieved from that. Yeah, but that seed is still there, waiting. The moment you have evil and wholesome thoughts again, okay, come back. Yeah, you have a relapse again, possibly. The last thing I want to say about this, I like what Fa Zhao Fa Shi mentioned once. He said, when we do chanting and blessing, it is to wish for you to have your wholesome karma ripen, so that you can find the right doctor. Yeah, oncologists all get the same degree, yeah, and do the same research. But sometimes they may give you different treatment, isn't it? Yeah. So what he shares is that when we do this blessing, it is to help you to have the ripening of your wholesome karma, so that you can find the right doctor to cure you. Okay? But of course, I know most of you want me to tell you that, oh, you just chant and then, wow, miraculously recover. But think about it. If this is the only way and the one way, then in the Buddha's time, there's no need for doctors. Right? But the Buddha had one special doctor called Dr. Jivaka. You go and search Jivaka. Jivaka. Yeah? He is a doctor in the Buddha's time, and he served specifically the king, the Buddha, and the Sangha. Yeah. He's a well-known doctor. Yeah? And he would nurse them. If merely chanting can resolve all illnesses, yeah, then there's no need for this rule in our Vinaya that the Buddha says, if a monk is sick, he should see the doctor. If he don't see, it's a wrongdoing. If he see and receive medicine and he don't take, it's a wrongdoing. Understand? Answer your question? Huh? Huh? What is the purpose of chanting? I already said, well, there are some cases where it's due to karma, yes. But what I disagree is if you just take chanting to solve all problems. It's not meant to solve all problems. Understand? Just because it doesn't solve all problems doesn't mean it has no purpose. Tibo? So does it answer your question? Or what answer do you want? No. I mean, jokes aside, no, it's true. I can tell you, I cannot read people's mind, but there's a high chance many of us start off in Buddhism with this mindset that chanting we are told that chanting has this miraculous power to solve all the problem. Yeah? But you just think about it. If that's the case, then Sifu shouldn't wear specs, ma. Come on, this is not even cancer. Lao Hua and myopia, astigmatism, just chant. It doesn't solve all problems. Yeah? So this is about right view. You must have the right view of what the teaching and the practice is meant for. Yeah? We may have our doubts, because it sounds very miraculous that it can solve all problems. So don't have to have that kind of doubt, because it was never meant to solve all problems. Okay? Next question. There was someone... Oh, on the goat, huh? So there was this goat. It's about karma also. This is also about karma. So there was this goat. Can I have more water? Anyone with water? Can I just get some water? So there was this goat. There was this time, a long time ago, there was this Brahmin. He was going to do some offering. Thank you. He was going to do some offering. Okay, thank you. Oh, what is this? Ginger water. Okay. Ta-da! So he was going to do some offering to Brahma, to some god. So he asked the Brahmin boy to go and get one of the goats to go to the river, bathe the goat, and then feed it grass. So the Brahmin did that, and as he was feeding the goat some grass, the goat started to cry. Or started to laugh first. First laugh. So imagine the goat. Then after it started to cry. Okay, then so the Brahmin boy was like, oh, why is this goat, laughing and crying? Why are you laughing and crying? You have to wonder, like, why is he talking to the goat at the first place? But if that's not strange enough, the goat actually replied, don't ask me now. Bring me back to your Brahmin and I'll explain. And somehow in the Sutta, it never said that the Brahmin boy was surprised. Like, I found a talking goat. So he brought the talking goat back to the Brahmin and then told the Brahmin what happened. So the Brahmin said, okay, bring me the goat. So he then questioned the goat, is it true that you were laughing and crying? I thought the question should be like, how did you learn to talk? So anyway, the goat then explained. You see, I was laughing because when your Brahmin boy bring me to the river to bathe and then feed me grass,